There are a number of tools that you can use to analyze competition. We're going to discuss here just the most important ones. I would start by looking at official data, especially from publicly quoted firms. So here you've got prospects for the IPO, in other words, in the memorandum. Then you've got the regular reports that they issue every quarter, annual reports, the letters to the shareholders and things like that. So there you will find a lot of data. Look always at the investors' relations that are being provided by publicly quoted firms. I would also look at the financial data. So even if the company is not quoted on the stock exchange, usually after reaching certain size and for some type of ownerships, like limited companies, they are bound by law in most of the countries to show the data. So you can actually get data from other sites, even for the companies which are not quoted on the stock exchange. Using this data, you can estimate the shares in the market and have a better discussion with the directors. I would also look for information on the strategy of the competitors. So some of those companies reveal their plans publicly, others suggest them in some sort of a reports, interviews, things like that. I would check their sites, also some sites where they cover news from the industry and they have interviews with the CEOs, COOs and directors. You can also look for such interviews on YouTube. As we mentioned, a very good method to gather data is to have a store checks. This method is powerful for companies that have physical points of contact. So for example, retailers, companies providing services and things like that. And there you can check plenty of things on how do they approach the customers, who is the segment, who they are dealing with, what's the pricing they offer, what kind of product range they offer and things like that. So a very powerful tool, not for all type of companies. However, you should definitely see whether you can gather some data through store checks. Link to that is mystery shopping. So here you go to their stores and you check how they treat customers, how they approach them, what they concentrate on. For online, you can use obviously store checks as well and to some extent mystery shopping. However, you also want to go for hard data. So I would check with SimilarWeb what's the traffic on their site, what's the conversion rate, where the traffic comes from, and what are the key words that lead to their site. And finally, you can also have a certain data, the Facebook audience insight. There you can analyze specific audience and also see which companies are reaching them. Obviously here you don't look at the sales, but rather at some sentiment. However, it gives you a certain idea. You can also have a look at the SlideShare and YouTube, where you'll find not only interviews that we have mentioned with CEOs or COOs, but also some analysis done on specific company. So it can be either the company you're analyzing or their competitors. I would also look for companies from the same industry, but more advanced markets and see what they concentrate on, what they're afraid of, what they think the main challenges are. So that's in short. Let's move to the tools that you can use to analyze trends.